Hello, my name is Ben Fearnley. I'm the Head of English at Ripon Grammar School, and this is a short video to tell you all about our A-level course in A-level English Literature here at the Grammar School. As you can see from this first slide, the board that we follow is the AQA board, and we teach AQA Specification A. I'm going to tell you about some of the texts and the topics that you can study and why we think this is such a great course. So first of all, why study English literature? Why choose this subject at all? There are many reasons. First of all, if you're thinking of studying English at university, English literature is a fantastic course that's going to open up all sorts of doors, and it's probably going to provide you with the best route into most university courses. However, even if that's not where your future lies, we think that studying English is going to develop a fantastic range of skills that are applicable across all sorts of different subjects and disciplines. So we'll spend a lot of our time analysing texts and developing really sophisticated skills of analysis, not just in terms of text, but also analysing ideas. You will develop fantastic communication skills. Orally in lessons, we'll expect you to debate and argue and express your ideas. And of course, we'll expect you to write fluent, cogent essays as well. So you become a fantastic communicator. Central to much of what we do is the negotiation, the discussion, the debate of text. So you become good at forming your own argument as well and debating your ideas. We'll give you great research skills, and we'll expect you to manage your own work and to study independently. But perhaps most importantly, why should you study English? Because it is a hugely rewarding and enjoyable course, and it will teach you about the world and about yourself and your place in that world, and that's no bad thing. Why this course? Why did we choose the AQA specification? We looked at all of the exam boards. We chose this one. We feel it's very well balanced, both in terms of between drama, prose and poetry, but also in terms of the different time periods that the course explores. We think it's really nicely balanced. We also think that there's a lot of scope for wider and independent reading if you want to pursue it. So both of the two courses that I'm going to talk about in a minute, you could really explore and do lots of wider reading that's really going to augment and develop your skills in English even further. However, on the flip side, if that doesn't appeal to you and you want the reading to be quite manageable, then actually the reading load is very realistic too. There are just 4 set texts per year, so it's a very manageable course in that sense. And the set texts, when we get to them, are really good, and there's also some scope for pupils and teachers to choose their own texts when we get to the coursework unit. And finally, we like the fact that this is a course which encourages you to look at how texts relate to one another, both in terms of text from perhaps a particular period or from a particular genre. And that's something that's quite different to GCSE, where you might have kind of studied texts almost kind of in isolation. So you've chosen to study English literature. Why come and study it with us? Well, I could tell you about my department. I could tell you about the passionate, experienced, knowledgeable teachers that we've got and the fantastic atmosphere that exists within our A-level classrooms. But I suspect you want to know about results, at least a little bit. So here are our results from June 2019, which was the last time students obviously sat the exam. We're very proud of our results. It's not the only thing, but it's a big part of what we do. So 41% of our students getting an A-star grade back in 2019. But equally impressive, I think, 82% of students getting a grade B or above, and almost all of our students passing with a grade C or above. You will have studied English at GCSE, English language and English literature. So how will A-level be different? Well, coursework is one part of that. So you will write a 2,500 word essay, which will be marked by your teachers, and you'll get feedback, and we'll help you to develop that essay and get it to be as good as it possibly can be. So you'll go into your final exams with a 1/5 of your grade under your belt, which is different to GCSE, where everything hinges on those final exams. You'll be taught by 2 teachers, which will probably be new for most of you. That means you get 2 different perspectives, 2 different points of view, 2 different approaches. We think that's fantastic. The classes will be smaller, and that will mean that there is greater emphasis on you and on what you think, and we will expect you to engage fully in the lessons and to help to negotiate and explore the meanings of the texts that we study. We'll also introduce you to some literary theory. This is a great stepping stone towards undergraduate study. They're great tools for helping you to explore text and see the multiple ways in which text can be read. And finally, because we're studying English literature, the focus is solely on great literary text. So there's no spoken language element, there's no obscure 19th century newspaper articles that you might kind of come across in the language GCSE exam. And finally, there's that element of choice that I've mentioned already, where you can actually choose some of your texts when we come to coursework. Not everything is set in stone. Okay, so here's the A-level, very quickly. 2 papers, 40% each. Love Through the Ages is paper 1. So you've got some Shakespeare, you've got some poetry, and you've got a novel. And then paper 2 is Text in Shared Context, which is modern times, and that's from 1945, the end of World War II, right up to the present day. And again, you've got a prose text, a novel, some poetry, and a drama text. You can see that in both papers, a lot of the exams are open book. That is a difference to GCSE as well, where you're not allowed your text in the exam. At A-level, for a lot of the exams, you are allowed access to your text. And the last 20% of the course is the coursework, which is called non-examined assessment. And this is where you've got to write a comparative essay of 2,500 words, comparing any 2 texts, could be from any genre, poetry, novel, a play. One of them has to be written before 1900, but that's one of the only real stipulations. So that's where the element of choice comes in. Let's put some texts in to kind of give you a better idea of what this looks like. So Taming of the Shrew is our Shakespeare comedy that we tend to teach. The AQA anthology contains 2 clusters of poems. We look at the post-1900 cluster, about 15 poems in there. And we look at Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. That comes in the second part of the year in the other 6th. Modern Times is a great course as well. We look at The Handmaid's Tale typically. Sometimes we do Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. Skirrid Hill, a great collection of poems by Owen Shears, very contemporary, published in 2005. So that's one of the newest texts on the course. And the classic American play, A Streetcar Named Desire. Non-examined assessment, there's just an example of some text there, but of course this element of the course would to a certain extent be up to you. So what does all that look like? Well, this is just the lower 6th outline. You can see that orange bit at the beginning of the course is really us introducing you to A-level, giving you the tools that we think you're going to need to really excel in the course, looking at different ways of reading, opening up different ways of analysing texts. And then we get the introductions, the introduction to Love Through the Ages. We do a chronological journey through the poetry of love through the ages, from Chaucer right up to the present day. That's great for preparing you for the unseen elements of the exam, but it also gives you this kind of contextual overview that's going to be so valuable when you actually come to study the poetry anthology. Then the introduction to modern times. You will be exploring lots of extracts from novels, as well as establishing the historical context of this really, really turbulent time from 1945 to the present day, when all sorts of things happen and change. And that is really the first half of the lower 6th, and that really prepares you for us setting you loose on some of the set text. We look at the 2 plays, first of all, The Taming of the Shrew and The Streetcar Named Desire. Then we look at the modern times novel, The Handmaid's Tale, as well as the Love Through the Ages poetry. And that brings us up to the summer term, when we start thinking about the coursework and we introduce you to some coursework texts, we make some suggestions, and we send you off over the summer with some reading to do. And then you come back in the upper 6th, in year 13, hopefully with some firm choices for your NEA coursework, and we launch into that, and we do the remaining texts in the upper 6th. I'm not going to talk about that now because we're looking way into the distance, but I hope by talking about this course in this way, giving you a little bit of a flavour of some of the texts that we cover, you've got a bit of a sense of what we do here at Ripon Grammar, and in particular, the benefits and the challenges and the rewards of studying A-level English literature with us. Thank you.